Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today we will see how to fill Schedule C form. In order to fill the form, please go to amjinc.ca and then log in. Click on the donation profile button and then enter your username and password. The software will ask you for your software token or SMS. Software token is a preferred way of logging in. Now open your authenticator software and enter the authentication code. Now you will be logged in. When you log in, you will see your budget screen. In order to fill the Schedule C form, you need to click on the Schedule C menu button. So when you click on this button, your pending Schedule C forms will be loaded. This screen actually shows you all of your pending forms as well as your completed forms. The objective is to make sure that you have no pending forms and all of your forms move to the completed form area. So in order to start filling Schedule C form, first step would be to load the form. So we will click on this start button for 2019 form. This will load the form. In order to make sure that you conveniently understand all the information present on this form, Schedule C form is divided into multiple sections. Because we fill Schedule C only once a year, so it is important to go through each section and understand all the information presented there. In this first section, which is Wasiyyat information section, you see all of the Wasiyyat related information. This information includes your AIMS code or member code, family code, and the rate of your Wasiyyat number and other information. Now the next section is Wasiyyat clearance section. This section talks about when was the last time you received your clearance of Wasiyyat from Markaz, and how much are the arrears calculated by the system, if any. Sometimes these are arrears and sometimes these are excess amounts. The next section actually is consisting of all the receipts, all the payments you have made for the year for which you're filling this Schedule C form. You're filling this Schedule C form for 2018-19. So these are all the receipts that you have been issued, in which you can see your distribution of payments. So here you can see the totals, how much you have paid for this year and how much have you paid for arrears, if any. So this is an important section. You can actually click on a receipt and see the actual distributions and the amounts. Next section is for Wasiyyat Hissa Amad at the special rate of 1/16th of the income. This is applicable to special incomes like rental from property. If you have paid any chanda in this head, it will show up in this section. Next section is Wasiyyat Hissa Jaidad. This is normally for the selling of a property. So if you have paid this head, you will see receipts in that section. Next section is very important. In this section, you will declare how much you should have paid. So in the above three sections, you see how much you have actually paid during the year. Now you will confirm the amount you have paid is the same as the amount you should have paid according to your income. It is very important to enter the amount that is according to your Wasiyyat rate and according to your income. So for example, here I can say that I have paid $10,038, but I should have paid an amount which is equivalent to $10,100. So this is the confirmation that my earning is 10 times that, or depending on your Wasiyyat rate. Depending on this entry, the next section will give you a financial detail. It will tell you that you should have paid this much. From last year, you paid $32 extra. This year, you paid the amount that was listed in the previous section, which is $10,038.16. Hence, and there were no arrears from last year. Um, Hence, you have an arrear, meaning that you need to pay some extra in order to make sure that you are you're paying bashara. This is very important because all these calculations were very difficult to do on the paper form, and system is doing all those calculations for you. All you know in the end that you have this much amount in your arrears that you should be paying for this year. Now, and the system will give you three options. These options are listed here, so you need to select one of these options. And the first option is that you may have paid this but haven't mentioned that these were in arrears to your secretary finance. In this case, you just mention the amount that you have already paid that you knew was your arrears, that below bashara, and mention the receipt number. And the other option is that you have partially paid some of that amount that you owe. You can mention that as well, and then you have to mention that how long will it take for you to pay the rest. Or you can acknowledge that yes, there is a pending amount of say $39, and you will pay it in that many months. Let me actually go back and change the amount to exactly match the amount that I have paid, meaning that I know that I have paid whatever I have paid is exactly matching my earning. In this case, when you will go to the next section, system will recognize that you do not have any arrears. You paid exactly how much you earned, and there were $32 extra paid from last year's, so it will not ask you any more questions. Again, these things were very difficult to understand and articulate on the paper form. So now changing this amount allows the system to automatically calculate all of these properly. So I can also go ahead and enter an amount that covers for my previous year arrears as excess as well, and now balance is zero. Next section actually is about our income source. Here we will mention that what is your profession. Then you can enter remarks, if any, that will be submitted to Markaz with your form. After entering the remarks, you will go to the address confirmation section. If your address has changed, you just check that box and fill the new address. If your address haven't changed, then you can move on to the review section. There is only one button here. When you click this button, this section will show you the actual paper form that you would have filled if you were not doing this online. So all these receipts must be entered, and all the calculations must be done, and proper boxes should be checked. After you're satisfied, you can actually go to the next section. This section is giving you a summary of everything. Review that summary. You have from previous years there's an excess of 32 and the payment you have paid, and there are total arrears of 0. Once you're satisfied, check this box, and then you can send your form to a Wasiyyat department. But you're not done yet, because you only submitted the form for 2019. You see, there is another form left, because maybe you haven't submitted for last 2 years. So just make sure that there is no pending form. If there is another pending form, you can perform the same operation again, go through all the steps. It is important because we do it only once a year, so thoroughly go through and understand what your payments are, and then also carefully assess how much your income was and how much you should have paid. So for example, here the payment is very low, and this person knows that they should have paid 10,200, so they will mention that. System will ask for when will you pay the rest. and they select an appropriate option to say, okay, I will pay the rest of my arrears in 1 month, and then they go to the next step and select profession, and then give some more detail too, and then they can actually go in the remarks section. If they want, they can enter something they want to mention to Wasiyyat department, which is reaffirming in this case that they will be paying the whole donation in a month. So next step, again, we've been through this. If there's an address change, we can do that. We can review the paper form that would have been entered or submitted. In this case, it is quite long, so by doing it online you save a lot of time. Then again, we go through all the summary of important things. We acknowledge that we understand, and now we do confirm and submit. Now that all of our forms are done, that is pretty much it. All of your Schedule C forms are submitted. Thank you for joining us. We hope this tutorial has helped. Please remember us in your prayers. Jazakumullah ta'ala wa ahsanul jaza.
खुदा के पाक लोगों को खुदा से नुसरत आती है, जब आती है तो फिर आलम को एक आलम दिखाती है।